One of us should probably have checked. Hold on, I'll check.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to load up.
Fuck!
Shadilay. One of us should probably have checked. Hold on, I'll check.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to load up.
Fuck! Does it work now?
Yeah, it's on now.
Shadilay.
Okay. Okay, well, I did the
One of us should probably
introductions
have
earlier.
checked. Hold on, I'll
And
check.
I'd rather not do it again. I forgot to mute that. And yeah,
Don't worry about
that didn't work. So
We can put it in the notes.
I forgot to actually click the start button. Everything was ready to stream, and I need to essentially just say, yeah, okay, yes, it works, my fellow friend.
We've got it.
Yep, it's on.
Yep, it works. I've just missed.
So basically, the short version is we've got a German, we've got a Welsh train enthusiast, we've got a scientist, we've got a God denier, and we have you, Harry, and that's it.
It's a scientist.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer.
So, where were we on this?
That's you. I'll
read again.
Sorry,
shall I? Because I was a fucking retard. You forgot to click the start button.
He didn't. No. He didn't do nothing. Is the short version.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing. This Matthew Martin guy didn't do fucking nothing, and I was actually able to read.
I'll read it.
Go ahead if you want to.
Go.
So I'll read it quickly. A Washington, D.C. judge on Wednesday found a man not guilty of alleged role in the U.S. Capitol riot. The first acquittal tied to the January 60th attacks. Matthew Martin, not a Marvel character, and former government contractor from New Mexico, told the U.S. District Court judge he thought the police had waved him through, which he almost certainly had, and didn't know he was breaking the law because he wasn't, as we found out. Based on the video of the scene, Martin's claim was plausible. Speeding along, the officers made no attempt to stop the people, said the judge. It was very true. And McFadden, but the judge concerned isn't a President Trump appointee, so that's going to be interesting if any of the other co-conspirators, as it were, get a Donald Trump hating judge. And we'll see if it goes the other way.
I would be surprised.
I think it's probably good that this bloke got freed first because he'll set precedents.
The thing is,
he'll set precedents, so it'll be harder for future judges to argue the other way.
I wouldn't be surprised though with future judges if they are Trump haters. They just say, "No trial, you're guilty. I said so because I'm judge. Fuck you." I really wouldn't be surprised if that actually were to happen, and that sounds ridiculous, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, when you said co-conspirators, did you mean the FBI or did you mean the other protesters?
Yeah, arrest the FBI.
Well, I meant the other protesters, but it's very hard to tell the difference. So the only problem with that, Harry, is if they did something like that, they'd be setting themselves up for a perfect appeal.
Oh, they would,
because it would be a largely baseless conviction.
Oh, no,
so
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have an appeal, but I'm just saying I genuinely would not be surprised if they tried that. It's just something.
I guess we will see.
Oh yeah, we probably will, and I hope they don't do that. But it's just something I just expect them to try. And God forbid, don't do that if anyone hypothetically, which they're not.
This article. Well, if you scroll down, see if it gives any details as to how long he spent in prison, probably in isolation before his trial, because I know a lot of them have. And,
a lot of them were essentially torturous conditions, and it was very
for the rather bullshit reasons they were.
I'm kind of scrolling quite a bit here to see if there's any mention of time. I'm going to scroll back up and essentially just try to skim and scan through this.
I mean, as far as I can tell, the United States have given a large amount of their human rights to the Middle East, so they don't have them anymore for some reason.
What was it in Metal Gear 2, where essentially like the quote goes, "These days criminals have more rights than their victims." God, I fucking love those games. Also, Senator Armstrong for president, please. I'd like to add. If you don't know, you don't know. And I'm disappointed in you. You should do better. You should know who Senator Stephen Armstrong is. Fuck you. I don't think it does say how long he was in for, I'm afraid. No, it doesn't. It was just a case that... No, sorry. I'm not seeing anything.
Well, he'd have been arrested shortly after the
Sydney
days
confined, what are you
last year.
Yeah.
Unless he was bailed, but I don't know if they even accepting bail for them.
I don't think so. So,
I don't think they were.
shall I move on to the next one then? Which, if I do, I'd like to add the following. This is probably going to be the most based story that is ever going to be covered, ever, on this series. What was that? You kind of cut out there, Shadow. I didn't hear what you said.
Ever.
Well, I could be wrong, but it's going to be...
Carry on.
It's going to be a pretty fucking base story, so should I click it?
No.
Fuck you. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Damn it, Shadow.
Questions and I won't give a stupid answer.
Whatever, Shadow. Oops. Okay, that's not the story, and that can go away. Fucking ads.
You not install ad blocker?
I don't know how! God damn it, how many times did I tell you?
The Plebs of Shadilay is officially sponsored by uBlock Origin.
New Jersey gym owners who defied COVID lockdowns have their business license restored. Now, this is not the most base part yet, but we'll get there. Don't you worry. Don't you fucking worry. This is going to be good. By John Burger Name. John Burger Name, that's your name now. It's Burger Name. Yes.
Burger.
John Burger.
American.
John Burger of Miracleland. End of discussion. The owner of Atlas Gym in Belmore, New Jersey, had their business licenses restored nearly 2 years after they made nationwide headlines for defying New Jersey's its Wuhan coronavirus variant lockdowns. Not COVID. COVID is a made-up word. I refuse. Fuck off.
Not made up.
No, COVID isn't a virus, it's the disease that you get from the virus.
Yes, because AIDS and HIV are completely separate from one another, of course.
We just call them the New Jersey's mass psychosis lockdowns instead.
We could do, yes.
Not separate things, one causes the other.
I fucking love as well when you try to explain mass formation psychosis to people. They just essentially screech at you. It's like, oh my god, Trump worshiper. It's like, no, okay, it's like, you're literally doing the thing that I said that you would do if you're, like, in mass psychosis, you fucking retard. And I don't know what the fuck this movie is that's being advertised that I can see in this advert, but I hate it already, and it's kind of annoying as all fuck. Not gonna lie.
Just close it down.
I do that, and it's probably good. This isn't the first time I've tried closing an advert. I predict right now.
You need to get a blocker.
I predict, right. You will, if we meet, do you want to make a bet, like a £5 bet, that that it doesn't work and it then makes the advert go somewhere else?
Depends how you close it.
No, that's what I thought. No one actually wants to make the fucking bet. Right, okay, fine. Called it. Okay, I would have lost £5, okay.
Don't want to take your money, Harry.
Whatever. Okay, so anyway, that being said, with the annoying advert out of the way about some mother who's obviously going to die, trying to go after their kid, whatever, I don't care. Atlas co-owner Ian, I forgot how to fucking read that name, it's been a while since I've seen someone's name as Ian. Ian Smith shared a photo on Instagram Sunday showing the restored... Oh, fuck's sake, why are these names too...
Mercantile license.
Mercantile license, thank you. Mercantile license. Smith also shared a photo to the Atlas Instagram account. Smith and the co-owner Frank. Fucking hell.
Trumpetti?
Trumpety kept Atlas open to the public for
Spelling
the past
Frank.
2 years,
Frank.
despite the revoked license. Operating off of donations and merchandise sales. Now, I don't want to tell you yet how this gets more based, but I promise you it's building up to somewhere. Just let me have a nice drink of this tea that's slowly getting fucking cold, which is annoying me. What do you guys think happens that makes this very based? Go on. Have a guess before we get there.
Civil War?
Harry, you've told us all. You've told us all about 5 times in the last week or so. Like outside of this, I think we already know.
I don't remember any of that.
I don't want to ruin it though, in case I'm wrong.
I don't remember any of that, but okay. Well, Carb knows. Carb knows. I don't remember doing any of that because I'm forgetful.
Did he sue the government?
I'll tell you if I don't, I will let you know. But yeah.
Last bit of tea.
Also, what license do you need to open a gym?
Public
I mean,
liability.
you need a business license, obviously.
Imagine
Because it's
opening
a
a
business.
room where you.
Yeah, but if you're going to put gym equipment in there, there's safety issues, so you probably need public liability licensing.
Unironically, but I could be breaking the law then just by existing in this fucking room that I'm in right now, and I don't give a shit.
Well, no, but there's insurance.
There's no public.
But that's not a license. That's insurance.
Granted.
Unless you need.
Some things are
I
linked
don't know.
to the
Just
same thing. You can't get the insurance if you don't have a license. You need the license to get the insurance. But it's fucking stupid shit that opening a business.
Also, you need a
Right, it's
license
why
to
the
legally operate a
countries-
business with customers and stuff like that, you know?
It's
People
why
who
the
pay.
it's why the
money.
countries with higher regulations.
I don't think you do.
have
No, I don't
higher
think. Well,
amounts of
that's it.
towns.
I don't. What?
The more regulations you have, the more
So,
shanty towns end up
public
with.
liability, got it. Okay, and all those other things, but an actual license, I don't think. I don't know what license you'd have to open a business. Like it's vague. It doesn't mean anything. Like public liability, like that's you can see why you'd need insurance for that. Like you'd see it's a means to an end, yeah. But the actual businesses say yes, you can open your door to. Because it's not. It's
because you've registered to pay your tax. Because you've registered to pay your tax. If you haven't registered to pay your tax, then you're not going to get a license.
You don't need a license to pay tax.
So if I open a dojo in the future, am I going to have to start paying insurance on that shit? Because I.
Well, no, but if the company is registered,
what it is, but it's usually stuff like that you need. Like you need
well,
to.
I've got a company, but I don't need a license.
It might not be like a license. It might just be a registry or something like that.
But what is it? What? I don't...
I mean, if you don't know how this stuff works, you could always just not pay your taxes. I mean, it's not that hard, and it's also based.
So my thoughts is it could also be licenses in regards to the sort of the maintenance of the mechanical gym stuff.
I mean,
contract you have
if you essentially abuse gym equipment, it's going to break faster than if you don't abuse it. But eventually, it's going to break down anyway because there's only so many times that you can lift up like a 30-kilogram thing and then drop it down after doing your reps. It's going to start damaging things over time, regardless of how if you like slam it against the walls or if you just put it down. Eventually, shit's going to get damaged.
Well, yes, everything naturally decays into chaos.
Like Warhammer. Anyway. I need to remember actually again because some of the conversation we had earlier was missed. I need to remember to actually click start the fucking podcast next time. I thought just ready it would be enough, but no, apparently I'm just pure retard. It's been over 2 years since they came into our lives and told Americans they couldn't run their businesses, go to work, school, church, or outside Smith Road. when we reopened Atlas, we had no idea it would be this hard for a fight. I have no idea why I got my words jumbled up. We just knew it wasn't right, and we were going to stand our ground for ourselves, our families, and the rights of all Americans. Governor Phil Murphy and his cowardly cronies at the health department. What fucking health department? You know those, like, head of health department? They always look the most unhealthy people imaginable. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, yeah. It's like the British health minister is like the least healthy person in the whole government.
Belgium health minister.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, I just
I'd be a better health minister.
Do you know the meme of the Scandinavian female health ministers? Or
Send it in.
and
Send it in, please.
no, it's not a meme, not a image meme. But they all look like fucking land whales for some reason. It's hilarious.
The beached land whale, or as a certain V has said on YouTube before, the large corporeal manifestation. I used to love how essentially all terms of service made it so he couldn't say fat, so he just came up with the most ridiculous names instead. There was actually one comment I remember actually on one of his videos that was getting more upset about the fact he was putting enough effort into coming up with the ridiculous names, because essentially they just found it insulting that they were hated so much they were willing to come up with new names just to insult them, and it was just more based.
See, I do like the use of words here because
Yeah.
I do quite like old words which have deep meaning, like cronies.
Oh yeah.
And cronies used to refer to your old gang members, or should I say the how to put it, the group of people that you use to oppress others.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just
Oh,
pointing
no,
out how
go ahead. Like I'm
generally
essentially,
old words.
essentially I get the time to practice reading before we read, if that makes sense. Anthony General's office, the sheriff department, and his lackey, New Jersey Superior Court Judge Robert Loudry tried to bury us. So just imagine just being buried in the paperwork and still just saying no. But it gets better. This shit does get better, I promise you. Smith claims that as a result of not complying with lockdown orders, he and Berger received more than 90 citations. Yeah, it does say citations, right?
Citations?
Yeah. Along with 10 gym members
Yep.
who received citations,
Mhm.
9 criminal charges that both he and Berger were arrested, as well as one member that local police changed the locks on the building, backed up all the plumbing, and eventually boarded up the gym that they were fined $15,000 for 400
15,000.
Go ahead, you can read it then.
15,497, and it's always funny when there's like
Every
this
day
large
they remain
sum of
open.
money, and they insist that you also pay the 76 cents. Every day they remained open for 5 months.
76.
That's 173,000 in fundraising for their legal expenses was seized by the state, and that they owe more than 300,000 in legal bills. And that took our business license, Smith wrote. Our ability to pursue the American dream, all for what? We were right all along. To date, 391,683 visits to our facility, and people got healthier, happier, and better.
Based. Now, oh shit! There we go. I was just making sure that so this is like I guess like a more like legalized version. If anyone wanted to read it, they could do. But I'm just skimming over this, and I don't think this actually goes over what the really good part, because you guys can already see it's like No. Okay, fair enough. So it's a case of they kept on going. They changed the locks. They kept on going. They backed up the fucking plumbing to make sure no one could go. It still didn't work. Well, it paid off. Smith continued. The township folded. They resigned our reinstalled our
Reinstated.
reinstated. Okay, I probably shouldn't try to read quickly. They reinstated our business license. It took them 2 years to realize that nothing would make us kneel. Based. The fight is far from over, but from the bottom of our hearts, we are sending out the biggest of thanks to the community that kept us safe, gave us a reason to fight, and picked us up every time we got knocked down. No matter how determined we were, it would not have been possible to weather the storm if it were just us. Our members, the local community, the people of New Jersey, around the country and around the world made it possible. We made it 2 years without changing a single member, just donations, t-shirts and sales, all the legal bills, fines, normal overhead and safety equipment. We were able to do it because of you. Thank you, all of you. And I really hope that I have not got the wrong one, because there were 2 articles that I found on this originally, and I'm hoping this is the one that goes over how ridiculous this went. Come on. Smith said the gym would begin signing up members again over the course of the next several days, and would resume billing members on the 15th. Memberships are $30, pounds, really? Why am I getting that mixed up? $30 per month. He also announced the introduction of free exercise program, sponsored by donations from community members and supporters available to the members of the community in need. Smith welcomed supporters interested in donating to the program to reach out to the gym. This had better be the right fucking one. Is it not? It's or did I miss it earlier?
No, I didn't. I don't think you missed anything.
Okay. Well, the reason why I said this was the most based story ever is essentially, before when they said they changed the locks so they could no longer use their own keys to get into the gym, and they kept it open? How do you think they kept it open if they couldn't get inside the building because the doors were locked?
Lockpick.
No. They broke the doors off and essentially just...
They removed the lock. They removed the doors and they left them
wide
open.
open.
Left them locked,
because
so the doors were still locked. Yes.
Because one of the most hilarious things.
Sorry, Harry, I'm talking over you.
No, it's okay because I did tell you. I remember now, but I couldn't remember when. One of the things that they did is essentially the court told them, and of course it seems I got the wrong articles. There were meant to be 2, and I got them mixed up. One of the people in the court case said, "Look, you're not allowed to have anything with like behind locked doors. You're not allowed to have anything that's got doors on it." So they said, well, "There's no doors in the building. What are you going to do now?" So, the doors are locked. They're all the way over there. There's no doors to this building. What are you going to do about it, you fucking shits? And they were right. Fuck you. They were right. Just remove the doors to the building. What are you going to do now? Completely fucking based. Oh, Think Positive is here. Hi, Think Positive. If you want, because you're on the Discord, you can join, my friend. You can completely join anytime you want. I assume he can fucking hear me.
There might be a delay.
Maybe. But anyway, point being is, like, he can join anytime he wants. But, yeah, that is the story of Remove the Doors. Anyone want any opinion on, like, to give an opinion on how that's completely fucking justified and ridiculously based?
They must have had an awful lot of marketing to get enough money to pay all the fines.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure how they managed that. Or they're a pillar of the community. I'm not saying they didn't manage it. I'm just surprised they managed it with, I won't say ease, but I'm assuming they just marketed the hell out of themselves and used the news cycle to get donations. But because what they said it 200 or 300 members or something. They're not a tiny gym, but they're not exactly massive either. So
and thank you, Shadow, for this.
It's impressive.
Hmm.
You're kidding me.
Yes. Behold, the Belgian health minister. This is why I said, like, I should be a health minister. Look at this. Look at that thing. I'd be a better health minister. I mean,
Well, it's like when
God.
do you remember when we had a vegan running for like what was it? I forget which government
vegans
it
don't
was,
run. I
and
promise
he or
you,
she
they don't have the energy.
and she was like running like the minister for agriculture or something, and he or she was a vegan. It's just like,
Hold on.
you wouldn't.
Hold on. This picture. Can someone tell me if this is a meat-colored scarf or if it's her neck?
That's a neck.
Oh,
There's no
my
scene
God, that
where
is
it would be a
actually her.
calf.
A scarf.
It's a neck.
Oh, I've got
Image
some.
of
Are
peak
you sure?
I've got some
Are you
news.
sure?
this
Yes.
I've got some
is a
news.
Nurgle worshipper.
She stepped down. She stepped down 3 days ago.
I'm not surprised.
Only 3 days ago.
Yeah, maybe she
That's the whole
couldn't.
thing, though. She's in that position for a long time.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
maybe
Think positive.
maybe
You don't have to
she
join.
maybe she stepped down because she couldn't step up anymore. Sorry.
Literally couldn't
So
step
I'm
up.
gonna make you feel awful. Apparently,
Don't.
it was to help. It's to support her husband after a brain cancer diagnosis. But
I mean, she's not
but yeah,
supporting
3
a
days
lot.
ago.
Let's be honest.
Uh, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that essentially with how heavy they are, they have to live in a really like run-down house. Essentially, like you know where they have to change the foundations of the house to support the weights. And besides, we all know deep down, let's be honest here, when they die, they ain't going to heaven because by default they're too heavy. They're going to go to hell just for the sheer weight. It's going to drag them down.
So I have a bit of an antidote for this.
Yeah,
Now, I used to live in Wales, and
we know.
I remember coming home one day, and I'd learned from school that there was a girl in Merthyr Tydfil, only half an hour away from me, that was so fat that when her house started burning, the fire brigade had to break apart the door in order to get her out. They had to literally tear down the building in order to get her out. She was that fat.
I'm not worth it.
Yeah, it was like, leave her burn. She put herself in that situation.
Literally
like,
create
what?
her own prison.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, that's not how fire departments should operate. But I mean,
Yes, they should. They absolutely should work that way.
no,
They only save the worthy.
They no.
Yes.
Mother Nature saves the worthy.
The
Fire brigades
superior
just do their
genes
job.
shall be saved. Those who can create good offspring.
What about the argument that? What about the argument that they save human life, but once you get over a certain weight, there's a certain ambiguity.
you're no longer human. You're too
Yeah,
fat.
if you're not sure, yeah, if you're not sure if the person is the sofa or the sofa is the person, do they become a new life form that
Yeah,
isn't technically
too much fat
Worthy.
tissue in the way.
Homogluttonous.
Too much.
We also are able to apply this to furries.
We possibly can, but no, I've got a good one for this. Right, there's Homo sapiens, and then there's Homo gluttonous. This is a Homo gluttonous.
Oh, I was going to say sumo sapiens, but yeah.
Oh god.
That's another joke that you could make. There, Homo sapiens is a bipedal species, but some of us are lipedal.
No, this is a trend. Look at the trans butter golem in the US. Oh Jesus Christ! I don't even. Is that a thing? Like someone tried making a golem statue out of butter? Oh God! Think positive. That's horrible.
That's one of the nicknames that we gave to the Drachenlord.
Oh right.
Butter Golem. There's also Pommes Panzer, which is pommes is chips, like the fish and chips kind of chips. The actual chips,
French
not
curd.
the
Yeah.
The thing is, if I may, it's a case of I'm going to essentially
Not American chips.
just have this little bit of a joke here when I say this. I'm assuming that all of you have seen the Thursday episode of the Lotus Eaters, and you've seen the collaboration thing. That was when I've been looking after my granddad and lost fitness, and I'd make a better fucking health minister in that state that I'm in right now than this thing. It's like the joke of we can't tell where the skin and the clothing ends, whether that's a scarf or part of the neck. It's all melting and rotting into itself.
So
It fucking is!
the thing is, I've seen someone. I've seen.
Yes.
For many
Like-
health treatments, they should have to visit a zoo.
I was gonna say, I've seen someone like that.
Sorry.
But they had one of their vertebrae taken out, and that's what made them look like that. But that was actually medical because they had some bad accident. They had one of their vertebrae taken out from their neck and then put further down their back so they could still walk around. But it meant their head kind of was slightly more subsumed into their shoulders. But it also meant he was able to walk around like a normal human being.
Again,
and that kind of looks like
homoglottis.
what she's got, but obviously she
Yes.
doesn't.
I also have a different theory for how this works. Why these people are health ministers? Maybe it works similar to Christianity. Like she takes all of our excess calories from us and sacrifices herself to the copious amounts of fat, and we will be saved by her sacrifice and be healthy or something like that.
Could we not put her in some sort of special machine and use her as a battery then?
What? No, how?
She'd lose weight then. We can't have that. That would be fattest.
Well, she's got all those calories. You can turn it into energy.
Yes, but
Look, potato
not,
clocks are a thing. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, but no, what the device that you're looking for is called an oven.
Oh
Trust
no!
me.
Tell us about these ovens.
Of
German.
course, the German would come up with this.
Flash ovens, instant ash ovens.
No, just do the
I-
cosmo treatment.
I did not come up with this. My ancestors did.
Jesus Christ. Well, I've got a better one. The cosmonaut oven. Okay, for those of you who don't know, like the first cosmonauts who like fell back to the atmosphere, they requested before they even went into like into the shuttle that if they die, they have an open casket funeral, so their superiors will be forced to look at what essentially this treatment does to the human body. And I've seen the photos. It doesn't look like even there's half of a torso left. We'll put it that way. It don't look good. It looks pretty messy. It's a pretty messy way to go. But I do agree with Think Positive. Maybe we should just put these people in zoos. Separate the Homo sapiens from the Homo gluttonous. Or the Sumo sapiens. That is a pretty good one, actually. Just put them in
Oh
zoos.
god! I mean, that's not even a like. The thing is, it's a meme, but that's not even like a bad photo of her. If you look her up, that's pretty much a normal photo. You know, like it's easy to catch someone photo. This isn't one of those.
This is her best. Literally the meme of like the fucking chav kid and the Giga Chad
You
is
guys
like a case
remember
of her best
you know-
versus someone
you know-
else's worst kind of thing.
you know Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Slitheen?
Mhm.
The big fat things that they'd unzip their head. I swear she's gonna unzip her head and Slitheen's gonna jump out.
Oh god.
Oh no! Total Recall. She looks like the woman out of Total Recall when Arnold Schwarzenegger is trying to get onto Mars, and he's in a bodysuit, in an automated bodysuit that looks like a woman.
I've
She
never
looks-
seen this
she
film,
looks like her.
but that sounds so fucking stupid.
Hold on, I'll
Are you
find something
saying
to look up
are
that
you
can-
saying that
Total-
that Belgium politics were remote controlled or whatever by someone who used to be the Californian governor? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh. I think you guys will like the next one,
Oh,
but
in fact,
go
the
ahead and
woman
say
was
something
good
else if
looking.
you want to, because Jesus Christ, I love laughing at failures like this. You are a failure to the human race if you look like that. No? No one? Oh, okay.
This
Carry on,
stream
Harry.
can
Carry
for
on.
being fat phobic.
Yeah, I am fat phobic, and I'm completely right, and I will never change this opinion. Fuck you.
I don't like fat fucks.
Agreed.
Sorry, Samuel.
Oh.
It's alright. It's
I wasn't even talking.
He's not fat, is he?
Oh, yeah, you were making fun of my
You can't be fat.
assumed weight. Did you just assume my weight, bigot?
Yeah. You're a fat German neckbeard that sits in your mum's basement.
Oh.
That's what me and Anglo know about you.
Am I going to have to put you through a fitness program before I make you my maid?
God, not you can't even hold it back when you're live on the internet.
Jesus Christ, guys.
You can't even
Alright, so
behave
what's
yourself in public.
So, child porn, eh?
Good
What?
God, I never want to hear that sentence ever again from anyone's mouth. Fucking hell. And yet, I guess we have to go through this story now.
What about lolly porn, Harry?
Lollyporn should just burn in hell. Fuck's sake. You're never gonna let the whole basic thing go, are you?
Well, no, I don't think any of us are.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Before we start talking about this,
Yeah?
I think because I'm the German here, it would only make sense for me to point out, Mike Rothschild. I think it's very fitting that he has that name. I already said this earlier. This is a clear case for the name checks out meme or whatever.
Right.
Yes.
With that being said, I titled this
Has a certain
episode of
history.
Plebs of Shadilay Gas, Gas, Gas. And the more that we're going into this episode, the more that title is getting correct. I've noticed that we need to gas the Rothwells. The Rothschilds.
Christ, man. You go down like jeez.
How many of them are there?
Gas, gas, gas! Oh, I love that song. Also, anyway. There is no... Nobody take this out of context, you fucking shits. No one take this quote,
take
you
out.
fucking...
I will say it for you.
Okay, go
There
ahead,
is
read
no
this out.
child porn crisis in America. It's
it's
a
a
moral
moral
panic exploited by the cynical politicians and grifters to advance their own agendas. Don't be fooled by these people's fake compassion for children for 1 second. They don't care about anyone but themselves. Wood chipper.
Yes.
Go burr.
Completely.
Yeah,
Complete.
I agree.
The thing is hypothetically, let's just give this the most charitable take ever, and let's say it is fake compassion. Yeah, but that's fake compassion, which is actually, trying to protect kids, so therefore it's still useful. It's like if...
How is it fake, though? It's instinctive.
No, but what I mean, though, is this guy saying, like, oh, there's no problem whatsoever. These people are just giving fake compassion because there's no issue. Yeah, but if there is fake compassion, you can still use that to protect kids.
How dare you try to protect the children from me? You're not even doing it because you think it's right. Also, I wasn't even going to do anything anyway.
So I think
God.
we've skipped over the major issue here, which is that
It's
paedophiles
a
don't
terrible
get
take,
killed
isn't
at
it?
point.
Pedophiles don't what? I kind of missed that.
The punishment for paedophilia should just be death.
Yes! And
Like-
painfully as well, broadcasted live to TV to send a message to the others.
Oh,
Yes.
well, no.
No.
Yes, it should be
That's not how justice
No,
works.
no. It should be public execution time. Like, if you're caught...
Justice should be dispassionate.
No. Hear me out. If
Harry,
hear me
this is
out.
the whole reason we have hate laws. Is because people add emotion to it.
No, just hear me
No,
out though.
you've heard this before. It's a terrible argument.
Because it's emotion. It doesn't have to be emotion. You still do something absolutely brutal because it's like, well,
It's like it sends the message
Well,
to the
that-
other kid touchers that if you end up touching the kid, you'll end up like that fuck.
I
That's the
will
message.
go so far as to say a public shooting with your old standard, good old fashioned shooting line. You've got, say, 6 rifles. Only one rifle is loaded with a live round. So that way, at least the people shooting the paedophile don't know who shot him. So they then don't have to go home and be like,
Well,
oh,
and
I
nobody
killed
gets
that
That
kid.
satisfaction.
doesn't actually work.
It doesn't.
But that doesn't actually work in real life because you know when you fire a blank round because there's like nothing. There's no because it's obviously it's the bullet traveling so fast away from you that makes the thing go back into your shoulder. So if you fire a blank round, it basically just makes a noise. There's no real
You could
recoil.
you could
it'll
also
be
put
a
a wax. You could
It'll
put a
be like a
wax bullet
splatter
inside of it.
gun.
There are different types of blanks. I mean, you could just shoot wax bullets or whatever. I mean,
A wax bullet
I'm
can
not
still
sure.
kill somebody probably. You're still firing a projectile out. I mean, blank rounds can kill people if they're shot close enough range.
I still say that what I said on the other show before. I'm not going to mention its name because some people are more upset about the Sausage Gate thing that happened, but I'm just not bothered about it.
Okay.
I still say that we should invent a new wood chipper, a slow wood chipper, and we put them in feet first and just let it slowly get to work.
oh,
No,
Harry, not
honest
here.
to God, that's my opinion. I'm sorry,
not
but
in
it
public.
is.
Just
So I think we've skipped over
Go on.
the main thing, which is that are we really going to listen to the Rothschilds about paedophilia?
No.
They have their own island, in which Epstein and fucking all the
yeah,
rest
the
of them
warning is
were
kind of in their
visiting.
name.
Yeah, it's like I'm not
Yeah.
going to listen to anything that you say. It's like a case of, I'm not going to rob your bank, even though that my fucking second name is burglar.
It's
So
not even the robbing
but
of
I
the
don't
bank.
trust you. I'm sorry, I don't.
It's not even the robbing of the bank. It's the fact that they have their own private island,
Yeah.
apart from all the laws of states that normal people have to appeal to.
Sounds pretty base to be
But
honest.
they can do whatever
I
they
want
want
my
on that
private
island.
I make it my own country.
And-
Wait, do they have do the Rothschilds actually have their own sovereign territory?
Yeah, they have their own island.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's. I mean, if you have your own
Hmm.
island, it can still be part of the territory
I
of.
think there was a dude who owned an island off the coast of Scotland, and he tried to declare it as his own country, but the government was still like, "No, you need to pay tax." So he was like, "Okay, I'll pay your tax, but you're going to have to come collect it off me and pay a landing fee that is higher than the tax he owed."
Yeah, yeah.
That's
For a
kind
moment, I thought the more pragmatic solution would be to just say, no, fuck it, I'm investing in battleships now.
the
Why invest in a battleship when you can just make the island the battleship?
That sounds like such a Warhammer response. The thing is though is with stories like this, like specifically with Florida, have you seen how many math books they had to take out of like out of primary schools because they were essentially just teaching shit that was just degeneracy and critical race theory, and the excuse was, oh, it's maths, don't worry about it.
He
And
has five hookers, and he's made £10,000. How much does he give the hookers?
yeah, literally. Like one of them was a case of this person has so many thing. They spent this at a restaurant and they took their black friend. How much they need to pay to make up for their privilege at 15 something or other percent? It's just like, what the fuck is this? Get this out of there. And it's like I completely agree with just I think his name is Ron DeSantis. Get all of this shit out of there. This is disgusting.
If CRT and maths consisted of calling the character that you're like saying, Jim buys 5 oranges and sells them for whatever, how much does he make? If all the CRT was, instead of being called Jim, he was called Tyrone,
Yeah.
that would be fine. but it's not. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh god, I just had this really
Whatever.
weird idea
it's really
for.
racist as well because it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna include diversity of racial shit, so we need to label them all as fucking gangsters and shit because they're black. Like, what the fuck?
I'm just wondering what the math problems or whatever how they inserted it into there, Smith and
Oh, good.
John
Have
Smith
fun
and
looking it up.
his girlfriend. John Smith and his girlfriend take 9 months to make a baby. How long does it take Muhammad and his 4 girlfriends to make a baby, or what? But I mean, come on. What? How can you make like?
His underage girlfriends, I'd like to add, because Middle East go brr. Anyway, with that said, how do you think China's doing, guys?
They're fishing out of the you seen that video of the person fishing out of the pond at the bottom of the tower block?
Now, I can
Is
do
that-
you one better, because you guys are going to love this. Unfortunately, I can't find the video, though I might end up essentially receiving a video from Shadow about the one that he's mentioned. But one that I thought was even worse is there was this vegetable farming garden that was apparently infected with coronavirus. Now, it's one thing for a disease to jump the species barrier, but it's another thing altogether to apparently jump the kingdom barrier. In fact, it's something completely unprecedented. It's something that, as someone with an A-level in horticulture, effectively the best way I can describe this is each life form can only have 100% of its own genetic coding, and the more a disease gives up to be essentially just infectious, the more it has to give up on lethality. And if something actually could jump the kingdom barrier, it probably would be so unlethal you would gain health benefits from having it. And I know I'm describing it in a pseudoscience way, but that's how unfucking likely it is that this could even happen. But because this vegetable garden was supposedly infected, the police came in and had to destroy every plant. And yeah,
So
go ahead.
basically, Corona. Science has confirmed that the coronavirus is an ape that lives in a phylogenetic jungle.
It's like
I don't know if this if this joke
See,
makes sense
what I
to
heard
you,
from
but
that,
I
the
think
short
it's
version I heard
funny.
from what I heard from Harry was that COVID turnips give you superpowers. That's basically that was my takeaway.
well, it's a case of like
Well, it is the RNA. It's the vaccine that does that because it's the RNA thing, like the Spider-Man shit.
the thing is it's like a case of it would have to jump the kingdom barrier.
There we go.
It would have to give up so much of its lethality to be that infectious that it would probably be beneficial to have it. Like jumping the kingdom barrier is something that's so unfathomably impossible. Something it's beyond words. I can't verbiage how ridiculous it is, and China's just like, no, we got to destroy the whole garden now to protect people from this. It's like I genuinely cannot get across to you how ridiculous it is that I'm trying to I can't describe it. That's how I have to explain it because it's so ridiculous. Carb. It
Well,
sounds.
Is it ridiculous that China's destroying their only food source?
Fair enough.
Yeah, literally, it's a case of this city has a food source, destroy it now. It's like that's how ridiculous that is. Like it literally is coming down to you just want to starve and genocide this whole fucking city. Is how I see it in China.
Well, if it was the 1930s,
Yeah,
I would
actually,
probably call
there is
it
a certain
something
irony
like
that people.
I would if it was the 1930s, I would probably call this something. We would probably be calling this Jewish biology or something like that.
But there is a certain irony that Chinese people are starving to death because their Chinese takeaway system has failed.
It's like as well with that, it's a case of yes, you can order food on this app because you're not allowed to go to the supermarket anymore. You can order one packet of rice. It's like, and that's it. It's like okay, good luck with that. But
That's
specifically
not
though,
good.
Oh, in case you wondered, there's about 38 Rothschilds still alive.
oh fucking hell. If I suddenly become like a fucking Fed poster, I'm just gonna say those are the first people I'm going after.
Fucking hell, man. Calm down. You're gonna get like disappeared in the night or something. You say shit like that. They're gonna come for you.
That implies they're worried about me being a threat to them. That implies I scare them enough to come after me.
You have the potential of weaponized autism, Harry. You can be a
This
threat.
is granted. China reported 13,000 COVID cases on Sunday.
And with your newfound COVID turnip superpowers, there's a massive delay on the line. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
that's a
Harry's
new problem.
food is remarkable.
the purest of protein. We need more protein. How are we going to get more protein? More eggs in the thing. It just becomes horror. The food porn channel is called Eggs and Horror, isn't it? Someone check. I can't remember what it's actually called off the top of my head.
You could rename it Eldritch Horrors from the Great Beyond.
That works. We have the named man who has no name. The named man who is
Yes.
nameless.
Yes, exactly. Well, I've been named recently by Riot, so you know it's.
Wait, what? Let me check it.
interesting.
What have you fucking named it to now? Okay, give me a second.
Well, this was a combination of me and Riot's. It's a fucking ridiculous name.
Jesus Christ. I hope you like the thing that I posted in general not too long ago. I think you'll find it funny if nothing else.
Yeah, I'll read through it.
I've also pinned it as well, and Bleach Demon found it especially funny, calling me a mad lad for it, but beside the point. So, we have COVID turnip powers. What my superhero name would be Turnip Man or some shit? Which sounds that sounds so shit! That sounds...
Turnip Trooper.
Let's find you a costume.
Turnip Trooper. Oh god, this is getting worse. They're gonna find me a fucking superhero costume. China reported 13,000 COVID cases on Sunday, the most since the peak of the first pandemic wave over 2 years ago, with Shanghai now the epicenter of the country's worst outbreak. So, in other words, all that propaganda about China having complete and utter control over this shit was a lie! All of it a fucking lie. Who could have predicted that, China? Other than me and everyone else in this call. Thanks.
I mean, it was kind of fairly obvious. I mean, China's not particularly competent.
I mean, yeah, it's literally a case of, if you report that this is a problem, we will execute you, so no one reports anything. And it's like, well, what did you think was going to happen if there actually is a problem? It's like, with the reason why Chinese engineering is as beautiful as it is, Vulcan, the reason why you love it so much, Vulcan, you just love to look at the peak of their engineering prowess, is because if someone reports that there is an engineering problem, well, they get to go to the gulag, don't they, with all the fucking Uyghurs, the Uyghur Muslims. So no one reports anything
and
ever.
they can make more of the problem.
Yes. So essentially just no one ever fixes anything properly. I mean, I don't even know how any of their fucking tall buildings stand when there's that one clip of the guy just crumbling part of the building in his bare hands. It's not even mechanically aided, it's just with his bare fingers. It's impressively cheap.
So
it reminds me of the sewage system.
Oh god. Did you know that some parts of China use raw sewage as cooking grease?
Oh.
Well, they process it first, but it's still it's called was it dirty oil? It's called
Gutter oil.
But there's a process.
Gutter oil.
Gutter oil. That was it.
They get the grease from the sewage. They filter it. They boil it and I don't know in what order, and then it looks like you might be able to consume it, but of course it's still maybe you don't get any diseases from it, but I mean that there's probably a lot of motor oil and all sorts of other stuff in there that you shouldn't eat, and you will definitely get sick from it. would not recommend, basically.
Oh no, so Carver's found a hero costume for me apparently. Oh Jesus Christ, Carver, what the fuck? What the hell
is
is
that?
this? What
And
is
there's
that?
when's the information coming out? When's the
Your new
information?
avatar when
No.
when your final form takes place.
No.
So there's new information coming out of China. You have to remember that the Chinese like to play into the West pathologies and make mistakes even more than we are now. Like that's why they promote the wokeness shit. That's why they did some. I'm pretty sure the lockdowns were initially based off of China's lockdowns, which basically like fuck the Western economy so hard it's not even funny. Like China is aiming for dominance, and they are
Oh yeah,
manipulative and.
I don't know if you've been on the podcast when we discussed this before, but basically,
No.
I actually there's this weird thing in Chinese culture where because supposedly they have a culture that's existed for 5,000 years, they have the divine right for having the oldest culture to conquer the rest of the world. The problem is, they don't have one culture that's existed for 5,000 years. Their culture has changed. It's not been the same dynasty, the same anything. But because propaganda, they'll say it is the same one. And also the other problem comes across to if there's some sort of discovery that suddenly proves that one of the cultures of the Earth has actually existed for 6,000 years or longer.
Judaism.
Yeah, they now no longer have any argument at all to claim over.
Well, no, China will just start gassing Jews.
Oh,
Science-based.
so there's almost this strange thing that's happening with Uyghur Muslims, perhaps. Who'd have predicted that? But
Yeah, because I think the argument went that they would have to agree to the demands of any alien race that came along on the basis the alien race's civilization had lasted longer than they had,
literally
based on their own rule set.
They don't have any rules to justify not just bowing down. They would
The difference is China is not like highly autistic, like enough rule set following because they understand. Like at least Xi understands how power works. Power works in the way that you're able to set rules and break them as you please. So basically, like they're not. Even if that happens, they're not just going to change the rules because they're very like pro themselves. They're very supremacist, and honestly, it's quite admirable to some extent.
It's not really admirable because they fucking discounting when they sabotage and then essentially we'll sabotage ourselves like they did. Discounting that, they fail at everything in one way or another.
I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about, Harry. I'm talking about the part of their culture where they genuinely believe what they have is good. Their traditions and culture are good.
Yes,
and that
but
they deserve
it's one of the most shit case of their.
Yes, that's not the argument, Harry. The argument is that this attitude of I am like essentially our culture is good enough and like we have enough confidence in ourselves.
Yes, but
that we are willing to assert
our
across
is they can believe that as much as they like. I can believe as much as I like that my hand won't burn if I pour gasoline on it and then set a match on it, but that doesn't make it true. It's like they can as
Harry,
autistic as they want to.
Okay.
No, I'm not missing the point. They're just fucking wrong, and it's not admirable because they're just genuinely retarded on that one.
Yeah, also, wasn't it the Chinese Communist Party that tried to completely erase all Chinese culture and history?
Yes,
they did because they're
how
communists.
ironic.
No, I know I'm aware of that as well. But their current attitude, at least as it stands, is to get back at the world for the what's 100 years of humiliation, right?
Well, they fucking deserved it then. They didn't get enough humiliation, as far as I'm concerned. This is how they're gonna act.
No, but I mean, if it's just like a temper tantrum, that's not very good. But if they have like a tradition, like I'm not saying that them becoming like powerful would be good. I'm saying the confidence in themselves and the, like sincere belief in their own traditions and the goodness of their people is a noble thing for any people, regardless of whether or not
there's a difference between being confident and being retarded. It's a case of if I believe in confidence.
Harry, you're missing the point so hard.
No, I'm not. It's a case of let me explain. If I confidently believe that I'm stronger than a bear, it doesn't matter how fucking confident I am. It doesn't matter how confident China thinks they're better than everyone else. At a certain point, it becomes retardation. I get what you're saying, but I do not admire confidence when someone is so blatantly wrong.
Then why do you believe in God?
Because I'm religious.
You could apply the exact same logic to religion and basically it's retarded.
The thing is there's actual...
Surely they would just say because they're Chinese.
There's no way to prove nor disprove religion sort of thing, but there's actual like historical documents that prove everything wrong of Chinese belief, like everything down to the letter is all wrong, every single bit of it. And it's a case of like, okay, yeah, like they have a word for it. They have an entire title for it, the Century of Humiliation. It's written down in their own fucking history. They don't.
So Harry,
Yeah.
Harry, the point I'm more trying to make is that it's healthy for people that to essentially appreciate its history and past and believe that it has a right to exist. Essentially.
Oh, I'm not
This is
saying
the
they don't have
problem
a
with the
right to
West.
exist, but the thing.
No, I'm not. I'm abstracting this from China in particular.
Sorry.
Okay, the problem with the West is that like we have people who believe they don't have the right to exist. Like we have culture that literally want to commit suicide because everyone's fucking retarded, and this is why to some extent I like respect like China and these Islamists, not because they're right, not because they have good cultures, but it's because they have like a sincere conviction. They're like, this is who we are, this is what we are. We're not going to cut through Western bullshit, and we are good. We are going to exist. Right, it's that sort of assertiveness and like that is admirable, even if the people that insincerity that even if the people who express it have really shitty beliefs. You know, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was the point I was trying to make. So I'm not going to believe it.
It's good arguments and tangents are always useful, as long as we don't do Leo shit. Because fuck Leo, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't go on Friday to the fucking meetup, and so I was like, oh, the Lord Seasons episode will be fun, and it was a fucking Leo episode, so I got really fucking annoyed about that. And then I won't say who Pete is on the Discord, but he messaged me being there like, oh, we can't play your comment. It's too heavily against Leo. We need to protect the man baby. And it's
Right.
and so it's like I was just like, he's the most hated guy there, right? And hating him is a literal meme. It's like, wait, what? What do you mean? Like, if you're being serious, I'll show it to Carl. So I just gave him all the fucking screenshots of everyone's comments of how much they hate Leo. And so Pete's probably just there sweating on Friday, like, oh shit. People actually don't like him at all. Fuck. There was a lot of screenshots that I gave that guy. Feel bad for him to explain it to Carl. Alright, sorry. Getting sidetracked again. Ironic for the previous statement. The highly transmissible Omicron variant has spread to more than a dozen provinces, rattling China's zero COVID strategy. Well, it's not going to work then, which had until March successfully kept the daily caseload down to double or triple digits. Well, not any fucking more. It's now in the 5 digits. But the current breakout is also testing the patience of the Chinese towards the rough restrictions as Beijing imposes targeted lockdown mass tests and travel scrubs at time when much of the world has reopened. Yes, because bunching people as close to each other as possible for an airborne disease won't help it spread, I promise. Tens of millions of Chinese residents have once more endured some form of lockdown over the last months, disrupting food and damaging the economy. So they're damaging themselves more than us at this point. The country recorded 13,146 cases on Sunday. The National Health Commission said in a statement, no new deaths reported. Well, although the Omicron variant has low lethality, this is China we're talking about. Does anyone trust those numbers?
Of course not.
No, exactly. And besides...
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Besides, no, it's what I'm getting at is a lockdown does actually, in fact, cause suicides and other shit, so it's just because, we officially haven't written down any deaths, but I don't believe that there aren't any, is basically what I'm getting at. Yeah.
The deaths of lockdown.
The lockdown deaths. They don't get pretty, we'll put it that way. It is China's highest infection toll since the middle of February 2020. The streets of Shanghai were quiet Sunday as the citywide lockdown dragged on nearly 70% of the nation infected caseload discovered from the mass testing. It's 25 million residents. God, could you imagine living in a fucking city like that? Jesus Christ. Cities shouldn't exist, I'm afraid. But city authorities have conceded they are struggling to contain the outbreak, with thousands now in the state quarantine and the capability of the health workers stretched. I've seen people curing the coronavirus by just shoving someone off of a building. Unironically, it's a case of you know those giant I forget the name of them. It's not a spear, but it's sort of like it forks out, so it can be used as a restraining tool. I forget the name of it, but it's a traditional sort of Eastern weapon for I don't want to kill you, I just want to restrain you to have you arrested. Effectively the fucking barged down the flat door of this guy, and this person's filming from another flat complex building. And the guy has that fork thing to restrain him, and he runs at him, and he's on the balcony. And instead of restraining him against the wall, because it hits his torso, it sends him off the fucking balcony, down, tumbling to the ground. And I guess case cured. He no longer has coronavirus. Fuck you. And you can tell by the body language.
You know where they found? You know where they got the idea for those tools, don't you?
Where?
Left 4 Dead. On a zombie. It's a tool that in at least one movie they used to move the zombies around.
Yeah, you know how I like being a massive martial arts nerd? They're ancient weapons. They're really ancient. The Western equivalent would be the man catcher. Like, these things aren't like a thing from video games. They're older than that. But it's just kind of weird seeing them in modern day practices. I guess they would technically work though for zombies, I guess. But I'd rather just have something lethal if it was zombies. You can almost somewhat kind of understand using them for for a person trying to restrain them, but a zombie it wouldn't make sense. But I kind of feel bad for the fucking health worker, because in the video I'm referring to, the body language, you can tell by the body language he didn't mean to shove him off the balcony. It was an accident, and like he didn't look happy about it. I was like, well, maybe don't fucking charge on the balcony then, you dumbass. I swear the fucking Chinese have no fucking survival instincts. I mean, was it Fractal who shared that video not long ago where the fucking woman goes into an electric car park area and then gets run over by a car in the car park lift because she was just staring at her phone the whole time? They have no.
Looks up at the car, then looks back down at her phone after she's seen the car come at her.
Yeah.
And then just ends up underneath it, crushed.
Yeah, literally, like, no survival instincts. Oh, I'm gonna get run over. Now, texting my friend, just, what the fuck are you doing?
It's living in fantasy, man. That's why that's why modernity sucks. Technology is kind of a problem too, honestly, if not used properly.
Yeah, there does need to be a rejection of some level of technology at some point. It's like, I know.
Or to be harnessed properly. There's an idea of like within the anarchic circles of anarcho-futurism, where it's like after the collapse occurs. I think, if I'm getting this correct, I'm not sure if there's meant to be collapse occurring or not, but you basically have a society that's built on like a base layer of technology that's incredibly advanced, but it's styled and the style and culture of the civilization is very sort of Spartan, for example.
Yeah.
It's like 40K might be a good example. Like these people, like, they probably don't have. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, Vulcan, because I'm pretty sure you know more. But they don't really have like pleasure machines in 40K. It's like it's all about like making like strong warriors and like what is it? Like enhancing people, making sure they can work properly, and it's fucking miserable. Very sort of and.
I mean,
but the idea is it's sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, Slanesh worshippers have pleasure shit. I can promise you that much right now. But
No. The Imperium. I'm talking about the technology of the Imperium. Yeah. So the idea is that you'd have something like.
No, they have. I think they do actually have pleasure. The Imperium have pleasure planets, but
yeah,
I don't know much about it. So
a lot of
thing.
Depending on your ranking, there are a lot of privileges that you can get. A lot of stories don't focus on like the individual in cases like that. They focus on like big massive war, because essentially that's kind of just the writing style of Warhammer, which is kind of unfortunate because you don't get to always see some of the little shit like that, but that stuff does exist.
All right. Well, the point I'm making is that the archaeofuturism is basically where you take like the bits of technology, you constrain the use of technology such that people aren't allowed to like become Coomers, more or less. But the technology is used to strengthen their capacities and essentially to face as a necessary sort of tool to face the universe in the case of 40k, because you're fighting like literal demons and all sorts of other shit. But in the case of reality, you're going to need technology to be able to compete with other humans, and just I don't think it's going to ever really go away.
No.
That was my autistic
Nice.
rant.
No, don't worry. Everyone's allowed to have autistic rants. Shadow, don't even bother with. Yes, you don't have to turn it into an argument. Go ahead. What's it called?
What was I going to argue about?
Because I say something and you say, "Oh, if you're going to ask a stupid question, I'm going to give a stupid answer." It's like, okay, kind of thing.
What did you ask?
Vice Premier Sun Shinlun urged resolve and swift moves to stem the spread of the virus after a visit to Shanghai. Official news agency. Jesus Christ, this is going to be annoying. Xinhao reported Sunday. That's probably spelt wrong, and the people of the not rising sun land can suck my dick. I don't care. Anger is riding among residents over lockdowns that were. Go on. Is it just me who can't hear it, Morris?
Harry, just lean into it. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna get it completely wrong, just go nuts.
Like
just
I said, if anyone from the land of squinty eyes have complaints, they can suck my dick. Anger is riding among residents over lockdowns that were initially planned to last just 4 days, but now appear likely to drag on to several more days as fresh rounds of mass testing are carried out. Which, of course, if you bunch people up to mass test them, that means more people get infected, which means it will last longer, which means they will mass test, which means it will last longer, and just circular problems.
Spiral.
Yeah, it just spirals into just carries out forever. Parents have expressed fears of separation from their children in events of positive tests, while residents have gripped a lack of fresh food and ability to walk dogs outside. Oh, don't just eat the dog, you fucking idiot. At this point, it's like, I'm sorry, I hate the fact they eat dogs, but just try and survive to the end of this hellhole to make it to the new world, maybe. China, the country where the coronavirus was first.
Well, the good thing is at least they'll be able to find cookbooks on it.
But they'll be banned from going to the library, Carb, to get the cookbooks and the bookstores. Mind you, they could always go online, maybe.
All right, hopefully that's inside their internet.
Yeah. China, the country where the coronavirus was first detected in 2019, is among the last remaining places following a zero-COVID approach to the pandemic. And the reason why they don't want to let this go is that means admitting that the all-powerful China is wrong on something, that their idea doesn't work. And so they'll drag this out till the last death, I'm telling you. They'll just wall off the city of Shanghai and just let everyone die. As far as that's my prediction for this. Just to make sure they don't admit they were wrong in the first place. The outbreak has taken an increasingly serious economic decisions, trimming analysis, growth projections as factories close and millions of consumers, are ordered indoors. Shanghai's restrictions threatened to snarl supply chains, with shipping giant Marish saying some depots in the city remained closed and trucking services would likely be hit further due to the lockdown. The World Health Organization Emergency Director Michael Ryan last week said it was important for all countries, including China, to have a plan to wind down the pandemic restrictions. Oh, now the World Health Organization. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, they've been like that for a little bit, I guess, but you know what I mean. But he said China's vast population produce a unique challenge to its health system, and authorities will have to define a strategy that allows them to exit the pandemic safely. Try just not having a pandemic. That'll probably do it, as far as I'm concerned. So what do you guys think of this shit show of a situation? I mean, I know we covered a lot of it as I was reading, but you know what I mean.
Fuck China.
Based.
I mean, if they're destroying themselves, that's good. I just don't trust anything that comes out of China.
Based.
Well,
Yeah, that.
they have the advantage, Harry, when you said that they'll end up, some of them will end up dying, and you know, like the thing is, if they remove others in from other places, we won't. From the outside, we won't know because they all look the same.
That is true. Let's see if I've got any more comments from. No. I always thought he was source to get Carl on GB News. To get who on? Oh, Leo was. Oh, right. Yes. Think positive. I understand what you mean now. Yeah, he might be. Maybe that might be why they keep bringing him on, but it's ruining the show, so I don't want him on. I want it all to burn down instead. Effectively. Think positive. That's
Very base, I approve. Leo's
Well,
a
they've got
sophomore.
Dominic Bisbee instead now that they might be able to use as a contact, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so strange because Carl's actually getting pretty base. He was mentioned like Elite Theory the other day on the podcast, and it's like, yeah, okay, so he's trying to get at Carl, and you know he still has fucking Leo on. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? This guy is like he's like a decent comedian sometimes, but he's like the biggest shit living in existence.
The thing is the problem. The problem with Leo, and I've said this to Pete or Peter, whichever he prefers, if he's watching this. He's trying to turn a politics show into a comedy show, and it's not a comedy show; it's a politics show. And the other problem,
What that's what a lot of stuff does, though. They have a comedian on there to add a little bit.
yeah,
There's
but
loads of
it's a case of it would work if Leo knew the subject he was talking about. But the problem is
He's the jester in the court.
yeah.
He's a political normie. That's the problem.
Yes, like he doesn't know what he's talking about, and then he confidently talks
that's
about
why he's-
what the hell is it called?
Yes.
George Floyd, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and so Callum has to correct him. But every time Callum tries to correct him for 5 minutes straight, Leo talks over him because he's got more confidence and more charisma, and so he's just interrupting Callum, trying to explain to him the whole time. And Callum just sat there looking like a dumbass, even though he's not a dumbass, he's trying to explain this to Leo. And then Leo, after 5 minutes of telling everything to the audience that we know is false, then has to be corrected. And it's a case of this isn't adding to this is taking away from the show. It's not adding anything. When was the first time that Leo added anything to the show? Because it's a case of it's plus 1 point for comedy, minus 30 for detracting from the actual tone of the show. And it's like, oh, we have a net negative of 29 points. Maybe it's not useful to have him here kind of mentality. It's effectively how I look at it. Also as well, I'm probably going to butcher your name. Minzu, that was it. Minzu actually said something and tagged us in it. And Carb also put a fucking Turnip Man origin story. For fuck's sake, that is ridiculous. Did you make that, Carb? Give me a second. Apparently, I'm going to read out yours, Minzu, in a second, but just let me get this up. This is apparently the Turnip Man origin story. Apparently. So stupid. Okay. Alright. So on to Minzu's comment then. There is a strong lifeline.
This is stupid. No one would ever give you a revolver, Harry.
I have a bow and arrow, remember? There is a strong lifeline of Shanghai officials into Beijing's government. It is much more possible Shanghai officials are more inclined to show off their willingness to obey the central government to keep in grace and have an elevated into Beijing central government. Similar happened during Yeah, it's just going to end horribly, though. That's the problem. It's just going to end horribly, terribly badly. So, the next link that I have, though, I will point out, Shadow, you're the one who posted this, aren't you?
Oh, bloody hell! That was ages ago.
Yeah, I didn't do last week, so I essentially had to like find good ones, and I thought you might have found an interesting one. So, anything you want to say?
I can't fucking remember. It was ages ago. Why did I post that? Oh, it's because they're all mushrooms have lots of What was this? Mushrooms communicate with 50 words. Yeah, the 50 words. They can't identify all their the different fungus sexes because apparently there's like 30,000 different sexes of fungus. So it's like all the trans stuff where they go, I'm this gender, I'm
Oh
a
God!
beautiful gender. Well, you're a fucking fungus then.
Oh God! They're gonna start identifying as fungi. Oh no!
Given this state
They
of
are. What
the
they are.
post ops,
All these different bloody crazy ass gender shite, whatever. Well, that's how fungus works. So
given the state of the some of the post op people, it's probably quite a good comparison. Just saying.
Kill me now, Jesus Christ! Shadow, I hate the fact that you've sent this in now. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is somewhat a little annoying.
why?
Because of the subject, like the trans subject. It's like, okay, well, so this'll be an annoying read, but let us begin. Buried in buried.
Sorry, it's just a.
Just a what? Oh, should I just move on then? Hello? Oh, that cut out. I can't hear anyone. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you now. Wait, has everyone muted themselves? What the fuck are you guys muting each other for? Or muting yourselves, rather.
No idea.
Okay, that's odd. Don't know why you guys are muted. For anyone who's not on the Discord, Samuel is muted. Carb is for some reason muted. Minzu, who is here and keeps just eavesdropping, is muted for some reason. Shadow was muted and just unmuted himself. I have no idea why you guys keep doing that, but
My girlfriend walked into my room and I
gotcha.
talking about other stuff.
Fair point. That makes more sense. I can't tell what Carb said though when he just fucking muted himself all of a sudden. So yeah. Buried in forest litter or sprouting from trees, fungi might give the impression of being silent and relatively self-contained organisms, but a new study suggests they may be champion communicators. This shit is old news to me with my horticultural education. They communicate with plants a lot, actually. But they're not plants, and it's kind of weird the relationships the two have with each other. Mathematical analysis of the electrical signals fungi seemingly send to one another has indicated patterns that bear a striking structural similarity to human speech. Previous research has suggested that fungi conduct electrical impulses through long underground, and here's where we get to the fun words for science, filamentous, fucking damn it, structures, damn it, I didn't mean to scroll, called hyphen. Good God, I can't remember all of my fucking terminology from college. Similar to how nerve cells transmit information in humans, it can be shown that the firing rate of these impulses increases when the hyphen of wood digesting fungi come into contact with wooden blocks, increasing the possibility that fungi are using electrical language to share information about food or injury with different distant plant parts of themselves, or with hyphen control connected partners such as trees. Yeah, trees are actually a common one to be connected with fungus. Actually,
The funny thing is when they talk about electrical impulses being language,
yeah,
you could from that you could just say our cells in our body talk to each other.
yeah, you could do.
And your computer communicates with itself.
That being said, as well, a funny thing actually that some people might not know. You know, in the age when Earth was inhabited by giant, massive, humongous, fuck-off-sized insects, and the trees just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
That wasn't quite what happened. That was a potential outcome that would have occurred if circumstances were right. I don't think that actually was.
I thought there were fossil records of it.
I don't know. I think there might be something like a bit bigger than normal, but not like giant stuff. That was I think that was a theory, a hypothesis. That was like, if the world had remained this way for long enough with super rich levels of oxygen in the atmosphere, then this is what would have occurred.
Well, anyway, the reason why those trees stopped growing so big is eventually because fungus actually evolved to be able to digest wood. Back in the time, nothing could digest wood. Just the ability to digest wood just didn't exist until fungus just learned.
Have you ever tried?
What was that?
Have you ever tried?
No, of course not. And also, I'm not a fungus. And I'm not a leftist, you weirdo.
But you are a fun guy.
Vulcan, have you had a child or something? Because that was a terrible dad joke.
Yeah, I've always loved my dad jokes.
He's just calmed down.
Oh dear.
Sorry. I've always loved my dad jokes. I don't know if you hear that.
I heard you, I heard you. To be or to not be the cruel dictator who server mutes people. No, I'm just joking, don't worry. I'm joking.
Oh, that's alright. I can always have my payback some other time.
Speaking of server mute.
Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot that you actually have that power, don't you? Wait, did you just do it to me?
Now that's just harsh.
What did he do? That was Shadow, wasn't it?
Nothing happened, Harry.
Okay. It would be kind of funny though, because if he actually did do that and then people just started talking over me for no apparent reason, wondering what the fuck was going on, that would just get really weird. For Thinking Positive, who's still watching, I think. Also, hi, Think. Hope you're having a good day, mate. So, where were we with this? I lost my place because we started talking about fungus and dad jokes. Investigate, comment to human language. To investigate, Professor Andrew Adam. Oh, for fuck's sake! It starts off reasonable and then turns into whatever this is. Andrew.
Adam Andrew, another Marvel character.
Oh, it fucking is actually. You're right. AA, first name begins with A, last name begins with A. Jesus Christ, that's a common thing I'm noticing now, actually.
It's all made up. It's all fake.
Yes. At the University of the West of England's Unconventional Computing Laboratory in Bristol analyze the patterns of electrical spikes generated by 4 species of fungi. Here we fucking go. Keat, Split, Gill, Ghost, and caterpillar? Yeah, caterpillar fungi. He did this by inserting teeny microbes into substances colonized.
You just read tiny as teeny.
What?
Did it say teeny?
Yeah.
Or did it say tiny?
Tiny.
Okay. I was gonna say it'd be quite funny if it actually said teeny.
Well, there's not much of a difference between teeny and tiny. It's like saying small and not big.
No, it's more like saying tiny and then a word that's kind of it's more of an emphasis one rather than.
Right.
It's not really normal English.
We do not know if there is a direct relationship between spiking patterns in fungi and human speech? Possibly not. On the other hand, there are many similarities in the information proceedings in living substances of different classes, families, and species. I was just curious to compare. The research published in Royal Society Open Science found that these spikes often clustered into trains of activity resembling vocabularies of up to 50 words, and that distribution of these fungi word lengths closely matched those of human language. Split gills which grow on decaying wood, and those fruiting bodies resemble undilating waves of teeny packed coral generated the most complex sentences. The most likely reasons for these waves of electrical activity are to maintain fungi integrity among us, very similar to wolves howling to maintain the integrity of the pack. Port discovered sources of, basically foods. This is actually kind of interesting. So basically, we need to watch out in the future. It might not be an ape uprising in the future. It could be a fungi uprising in the future. Although this next one is also from Shadow that I decided to move on to, because if no one's actually going to say something, then I'm going to move on to the next one. And I just noticed that. Oh wait, no one's actually muted this time. Oh, hi, smart idiot.
Morning, or I guess it's not even morning. It's closer to noon, but yep, I woke up late, so I'm coming in here halfway through.
Don't worry about it. I was stupid and ended up not starting the episode when I should have done because I didn't realize I had to press start stream, even though I was meant to press start stream.
Sure, everyone was thrilled about that.
Everyone laughs at the boomer because I'm boomer.
That is very boomer tier.
Indeed. It's like instead of having on my gravestone "I told you I was ill," I'm gonna have written "I told you I was a boomer." So I do believe, last I checked, this next one is again from Shadow. Although I do believe we went over what's it called? We went over a carb one earlier. I just can't remember which one that was. But this next one is from Shadow, I do believe. The microchip implant that allows you to pay with your hand. Now, if nothing else, I can easily see an increase of maimings in home burglaries. This sounds useful until you realize that knives are very effective tools for removing a hand from someone. And it's very easy to just give away your wallet. It's not very easy to, I don't have any money on me, I just have my hand implant. And this could get very horrible very quickly because criminals don't give a shit about you. They just want what you have, and they're willing to take it in a very cruel way. Patrick... Oh, fuck's sake! Patrick Pullman, that's how I'm going to say that, causes a stir whenever he pays for something in a shop or restaurant. This is because the 37-year-old doesn't need to use a bank card or mobile phone to pay because he's a cuck. He should use cash whenever possible. Instead, he simply places his left hand near the contactless card reader and the payment goes through. Well, at least he's thought long and hard enough to actually know to use his left hand in case something does happen, like a burglar trying to take his hand, because I'd rather lose my left than my right, I'm going to be honest with you. Unless this idiot's actually... Unless he's left-handed, in which case, you fucking retard. What should be a case where he actually the best case I can imagine for someone trying to rob him is just digging out the fucking chip out of his hand, which would probably be awfully painful. I just would not enjoy it at all. Can any of you guys imagine how awful that would be?
I mean, just like the Total Recall Seen that. Not the. I don't think the old one had it. I think the newer one did. The remake.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I just realised that that Vulcan said something earlier. Sorry, I need to go to bed. I'm nearly falling asleep. I woke up at 5 yesterday. Sorry guys. Right now, I hope you have a good time. I'm nearly gone. Sorry, I'm dead. Just like, what the fuck happened to Vulcan? What?
That was me last night. I was fucking tired. That's why I slept till fucking noon, basically.
Okay. Well, Vulcan, if you watch this later, have a good night, buddy. The reactions I get from cashiers are priceless, says Pullman, a security guard from the Netherlands. Oh, so that's his job, right? Okay, that makes more sense. He is able to pay using his hand because back in 2019, he had a contactless payment microchip injected under his skin. The procedure hurts as much as when someone pinches your skin, says Mr. Pullman. Well, I don't care. Literally, no, you should always be able to use cash, you fucking weirdo.
Doesn't stop him using cash.
No.
No, but you know what I mean. It's like, I don't understand the appeal of the transhuman. Yes, I'll just have the microchip. I don't understand it. Probably because I'm not a cucked leftist faggot.
What I want to do, I want to get the chip. I want to get that chip, but I want to put it in a 3D printed Bitcoin. So you print it half,
Okay. Yeah.
print it with a void on the inside. Print it halfway up. Place the chip
Pay
in,
with the
and then
Bitcoin.
finish printing it. It's completely sealed. There's no opening to it or anything, and you just walk up to the thing with a Bitcoin and wave it at it and go, "There we go."
That would be hilarious.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I understand everyone being anti microchip in your skin and all that. Understand that, but this is like the same microchip as it's on your credit card, if I remember correctly. So I mean, it's not like it can exactly track you. You know, I think it'd be pretty cool and kind of good for convenience. But then again, it is putting a metal thing in your body.
Ah, we found the transhuman cuck. Good. We can now punish them.
It's slippery slope, is all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely is a slippery slope argument, but if we're looking at this in a vacuum and void of that argument, like it's not. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the thing, because we know they're pushing for more shit.
It's like the thin edge of the wedge of like, oh, you accepted this, why not this bit? What's wrong with this other bit? It's like, no. I'm saying no to the first step, then we don't have to put up with the rest of it. When it comes to implantable payment chips, British-Polish firm Walletsmer says that last year it became the first company to offer them for sale. The implantant can be used to pay for drinks at the beach in Rio, a coffee in New York, a haircut in Paris, or your local grocery shop, says the founder and chief executive of... Fucking hell, these names. It can be used wherever contactless payments are accepted. Waldmer's chip, which weighs less than a gram and is a little bigger than a grain of rice, is comprised of a teeny microchip and what? Fuck's sake. Encased in a bipolar naturally soluble material similar to plastic. Sorry about that. One second.
Well, he's gone. How's everyone doing today?
Very
Catching
good.
up?
Sorry, just to give me a second, something came up. Granted asking me something, that was all.
Unacceptable.
Oh, you have family? That's unacceptable. How dare you have family? It's like, no, come on, guys.
Podcast is always first. Come on.
Unaccessible brew.
This is Joe Rogan 101.
You need to advise individuals in the family. What are you doing, Harry? You become a bug person. Live in the potty, the bugs.
Become a bookman.
Okay, so where were we? This complete fucking loser talking about how it's so good to be cucked, even though he's a complete fucking loser. What's it called? Almost Chip Blaze was. I read that part. Mr. Fuck you, these names! Entirely Safe has. Go on, do you want to read it?
See, it says similar to plastic, though. Because, by the way, you shouldn't put anything plastic in your body.
Yeah.
First of all, it's horrible for you. So maybe I wouldn't do it just based off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the toxins just go up. Just toxin levels go burr.
Brother, I like the podcast name. It's very nice.
it was very connected to earlier articles. Oh, and Think Positive has actually said something else. Yes, that's why I want physical money to always be a possibility. Thinking positive. So yeah.
Well,
you and I agree on that one.
As a resident libertarian here, I think that cash is great because I can stick it under a mattress and fucking not give it to anyone. You know, like if I'm forced to use a chip, then I'm forced to use the banks.
Well, that's only if the Fed doesn't inflate your currency. But,
Well, that's true. That's true.
And then.
But if I have physical cash, then Canada can't shut down my bank account and then screw me over.
No, it's absolutely based. I agree. Physical products are better than digital ones, just for that reason, because they have like better security. Like,
and not only that as well, but it's a case of, as we've seen with people like the bad man, the Voldemort, for anyone who doesn't know, the person who's against people getting raped in England. Well, essentially the bank can just say, no, here's a check for all the money that was in your bank account. We've now shut your bank account. It's like, well, where am I meant to get money from then if I don't have a bank account? Oh, you can hand your check in and just, get the money off the check. It's like, yeah, where am I meant to do that because I don't have a bank account? Fuck you, is the answer that he gets back, and it's like, that's really helpful. Really fucking helpful. Can you tell that I don't like banks? And their attitude to, people want their human rights? Oh, how selfish of them! How could they do
this? Human rights are gay.
Human rights are gay. I mean, the thing is, banks are kind of needed if you want to do any sort of investment, right? Like, banks are inherently a bad thing. It's just when you give the banks the power to inflate the currency, like the Fed, or just request random amounts of money, like they currently do, then it gets into a little bit of a scam. Also, when banks fail, because banks are just like any other company, when they go under, government shouldn't bail them out, like in 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just modern banking is so bad, But the original purpose of a bank is very great if you want to start a business or get any sort of investment in your society going.
Indeed. After being implanted and will stay firmly in place, it does not require a battery or other power source, the firm says on... Wait, how is it powered then? Is it literally just powered by body heat or something fucking weird? Okay.
I mean, it's just like we said, it's basically the same chip that's already on your credit card, Harry. Is your credit card battery powered?
Fair point. Didn't really think of that. Chip, 2021 surgery for more than 4,000 people across the UK and the European Union. Found that 51% of them would consider it. Well, they're all deserving of death then. Fuck that shit. It's a shame that we've lost Vulcan actually, because I just realised that Carb said last time that we did this that he actually liked the train stories, and there was a lot of train stuff from a certain Vulcan man. So That's a shame, but you can't win them all. But yeah, I think we've all come down to the conclusion that banks can be a problem, all of this bad, and, physical shit's better, so should we move on to the next one?
Take the orange pill, invest in Bitcoin. Continue.
Alright, so in that case then, the reason why I decided to add this personally to the list is...
right to repair. I love this. I love this topic.
Yeah, it's a case of, for one, I can understand where companies are going with, because it's a case of, I want to be able to make as much money as possible. So I want to make it so you can't effectively do any kind of repair outside of my mainframe. Sort of shit.
Well, yeah, it's just they legally want to have control over everything, even after the product has left its factory and its store. I mean, Xbox tried to do something similar. Who remembers when the Xbox One first came out, and they're talking about their proprietary game stuff and like how you couldn't resell them? Anybody remember this? No, just me. I'm just the nerd. All right.
Say it again, please.
No, when the Xbox One first came out, one of the aspects that was bad, that made the Xbox One a complete utter failure at launch, was because they're trying to do something different with the proprietary licensure with their Xbox One games, where they were attempting to prevent people from, selling it to GameStop, basically.
Oh god. Wasn't there another thing where they made it so it always had to be online as well?
Yeah, yep. But that was only because they wanted the, I guess the Cortana feature in the Kinect to kind of run your house.
Oh,
I see what they were trying to do. They're going for, I mean, everyone says this if you ever watch a review of the Xbox One in its early days, that they were trying to do more of a entertainment center than a game console, and the PS4 was purely a game console, which is why everyone liked it better. I mean, I still have one of the Gen 1 Xbox Ones, and you could there's a slot to hook your DVR up to, so you could watch your TV through your Xbox. It's completely nuts.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean, companies have tried to do this for a long time, even outside of the phone and tablet industry. That's why PCs are great, because you can build them, and it's all parts that you can source. And phones suck because they're really complicated, and you can't exactly build your own phone.
No. But with that said, though, shall I play this video? And I might play it on double the speed, because the current time that we're on.
I mean, just give us a summary. I mean, I'm assuming you've watched it.
I have watched this, yes, and effectively, it's a case of people keep trying to make effectively like home repairs to different like Apple devices specifically. It talks about Apple. And it's possible up until some of the more recent things where they really autistically went into, no, you cannot ever, you're not allowed to repair this kind of thing.
Right, because they want you to take it to an Apple store and have them.
The problem is,
so
though,
they
is
can
you
charge
take it to an Apple store, and legally in their contracts, there's two things they're allowed to do. Replace the screen or the battery. And if not, throw it in the bin, destroy it, and replace it with a new one. And if you are on the Apple cloud, then we can transfer the data, but if not, fuck you. And
by the way, they don't even replace the screen anymore. So literally just like the battery's bad.
Yeah. And so it's a case of the thing is it makes it worse as well, because if you didn't know this, apparently Apple people, they're referred to as geniuses in the company, and it's a case of, I'm sorry, but a genius would know how to actually repair it. And it's not necessarily that they don't know how, it's that they're not legally allowed to. And there are some, like, oh, well, I want to be able to make a business of being able to, repair someone's iPhone, but I'm not an Apple shop. You can actually sign up to do this. The problem is they will randomly just come in and check whether you're, doing something more than just screens and batteries. And then on top of that as well, it's written in the contract 5 years after you're no longer working with Apple, they can still come in and check that you're not doing Apple shit. And so it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's a case of, oh, you're not working for us anymore, but we're still allowed to check your shit to make sure you're still abiding by our regulations. And it literally comes down to, we want to still own the thing after you've paid for it and bought it and have it in your house. It still belongs to us, so we can still make money off of it, because fuck you. It's effectively what the whole thing comes down to.
You just bought the license to own it.
but you don't own it. It's mine still.
Yes.
It belongs to me. Don't you know your place, O little slave? And so that's what that comes down to. And it is kind of funny as well, because this is one of the reasons why I didn't manage to finish doing the politics of Attack on Titan. I got really close to doing the first episode with that, and after I had my iPad repaired, in quotation marks, I found a video on YouTube of someone like repairing an iPad at home, and they had to fucking weld the battery back in because their battery was bigger than the official iPad battery, and it looked shit, but it worked, which was the more annoying part. It's like someone managed to make it fucking work, and it looked like crap, but it fucking worked. Fuck you, Apple. I just wanted the thing to function. It didn't have to look pretty. Fuck all of that. But the next story, seeing as you now know what I mean by the right to repair, and essentially just how it's all going downhill. Tesla essentially are also doing this, where no one's allowed to actually repair anything. It's always just buy it again from scratch, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, with the Tesla stuff, I think you should be able to work on your own. But like, to be honest, electric cars are so new and they're kind of complicated. I doubt many people are working on their Teslas other than like changing the tires. Because the tires, I know you can't change on your own technically, because they want the Tesla tires because they have a bunch of sensors in them that normal tires don't.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as simple as just undoing the bolts and popping it off and popping a new one on.
But the next one is something I'm going to essentially say is one of the biggest sort of you know that comedian, I forget his name, but essentially it's like a case of there's the gays and then there's the alphabet people, and there's the black people, and then there's the N-words. Well, this right here, the next one, is exactly why the N-words are always going to fail in society, and I hate them, but they honestly need to go away so the black people can just have a normal fucking society. So
okay, we need to work on our wording here. We need to.
Well,
I mean, look, Nignogs. Look, you can use Nignogs. You can use what else is there? So I think it's a good one. It's not quite.
You can use Ooga Boogas.
Oh my god! My name's attached in this. Is it not? Jesus.
Don't worry. We'll attach it later.
Let's say, where's Carb? Where the fuck is Carb? Where is he? He's supposed to be my partner in here.
He's muted himself, or someone else muted him. Let me check.
Definitely muted himself.
No, it's not a server mute. Don't know why he's muted then. Alright, in that case then, students taunting other students who are trying to study at, for fuck's sake, Stellenbosch University in
South Africa?
Yeah, in South Africa.
I mean, do we expect anything different from South Africa?
Fair point. So, you'll notice, there are students, black and white, just studying. And then just look at the rest of this, right? Okay, I'm going to play the video. Said I'm going to play the fucking video. There we go. And I'll put the fucking volume on. Said I'll put the... There we go. Shit, fuck you.
I mean, it's just like they're dancing around.
Oh my god, this laptop. Stop. There we go. Imagine her studying in this environment as well.
I mean, we all know what college looks like. I mean, I'm sure the American equivalent of this has happened.
I wouldn't be I've never studied in Burgerland. I wouldn't know.
I mean, if this happened every day, that'd be a different story. But I mean, do we know if this happens every day, or is this just a one-time thing?
The only context I have is this video, but it's a case of you can understand this is not a good studying environment, though, which is the point of this.
Yeah. I mean, what is the context of this video?
It's just the students who are studying just being essentially harassed as other people are just there like, hey, pay attention to me. You're not allowed to study. What the fuck are you trying to do? Succeed? And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot?
Someone wants me to look up some black crime statistics? Oh, well, if you insist.
Hi, Carl, how you doing? Oh, there we go.
We're not. We gotta clean up the podcast before we get the great Sargon of Akkad on here.
Nah. He comes in on the shit show. That's what it'll be. He'll come in. He'll come in on Second Plague being drunk. He'll come in on Cypher just being ridiculous. He'll come on me just having an angry fucking rant about whores again for the 7th fucking time.
I mean, based. I approve. These are all great things.
Yes. Oh. Also, Cypher, if you're watching this episode, what the fuck were you doing mixing your liquors, you dumb idiot? Hell were you thinking?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know.
I mean, that was very stupid of her. We should all join in declaring that she's a moron for that.
I mean, I'll put a petition.
In the name of being based, though, because we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, I actually want to show you guys something. You see, you know how I'm sometimes a bit of a Nintendo fan? And also as well, admittedly, the whole tomboy thing. What you're looking at is the official comparison of heights of Samus from the Metroid series compared to Link in Breath of the Wild. Now, Link is meant to always be portrayed as like someone who, because he's the hero, he's the strong Chad person, he's meant to always be like, oh yeah, everyone finds him attractive, except in Breath of the Wild they made him into a twink. And I just thought you guys might find it funny, me ranting about how the fuck am I meant to believe that this not even 5 foot nothing who actually hang on, let's Google this fucking height for a moment. Shit, fucking dumbass. Why am I so bad with that shit? I'm gonna send myself the fucking, like a good fucking image to be able to do this. There we go. Sorry guys, but I wanted to just like quickly get like a Breath of the Wild link, like an image of it. Fucking, and I'm not googling images of Samus, and you can probably work out why.
Because they're already on your hard drive. That's why you don't.
No, I'm not googling images of Samus because she's deliberately made. Oh right, you're fucking with me. No. Essentially, Samus.
You can just use a safe search. Dude. Like safe search is a thing. Like
don't know how to safe search. What is safe search?
If you use like Google or like Brave, there's like options when the search engine.
Even DuckDuckGo had that option.
Yeah. So.
You're talking like you are talking about the guy who really doesn't know computers here. You get that, right? This is the
Okay.
perfect example of this, actually. And then send this to my fucking self, so I don't... there we go. Save. And then send this over here, because I'm retarded. Come on, send you...
Harb, welcome back.
Oh, good, he's unmuted. I have no idea why he was muted.
I had to lecture these gentlemen on their use of language and race.
No, he's wrong. I'm right.
I'm
race war now. Gas the cakes.
Jesus Christ. So
see what I mean? This podcast is going to be.
I will have to listen to that later on.
Everyone,
sorry, I had a phone call to take. So.
Okay, that answers a lot of questions, right? Okay, that answers a lot of questions. So in Breath of the Wild, there's this part where you have to go into this nation of the Gerudo. The Gerudo are basically an all-female race in the Zelda series, and shut up, I know there's the one exception, fuck off, I don't care. It's like that, I'm making the point for generalization. So to get in there, because they don't allow men into their city, how do you get in? Well, as the 4 foot nothing twink, like this height compared to Samus, you get in by dressing as a fucking woman. And because they made it so, oh yeah, do you want to play as a fucking twink in this new game? The Link character passes. And then contrast that with my favourite version of Link and my favourite Zelda game, Twilight Princess, where the Link in that version is a fucking Chad who out-wrestles farm animals when they try escaping and just fucking wins everything on strength. No magical powers, just more Jim. And single-handedly invades an entire nation because fuck you, I will speak to your ruler right now. Compare that with this. I fucking hate it. I hate all of it. God damn it.
Anyway, back to Link and Zelda height comparison.
Oh yeah, I just accidentally destroyed that tab like a fucking Lincoln Samus. Why did I just destroy that? What's it called? Which one would it be? That would be it. That wouldn't be it. So then compare. There we go. So that's the height difference right there. Look how stupid that is. And thing is I'm not as tall as like Samus. Like in real life, I'm not as tall as that. But it's a case of I'd be like in comparable height. Is what I'm trying to get across. This thing, I think I could just break it as a twig. I don't think that could ever save the life of anyone. I think I could break it in half.
It's thing.
I like think positive. Link's superpower is not
Yeah, but
power,
do
it's
you
his
have a
courage.
big shiny
So I
sword?
guess it
That's the
fits.
question.
No. It's a case of, I'm sorry, but when there's a fucking Lionel charging at Link going 50 miles an hour, and he shield bashes it away with his fucking shield, and his arms are skinnier than a fucking woman's, or a teenage girl at the fucking jujitsu class, I'm fucking sorry, but no, he can't do that. Fuck off. Fuck off. Like Samus, I could believe it because she's in like a robotic suit and shit. Like Link, I no matter how much you say magic power bull, I don't care. I can't believe it when I look at how pathetic he is. I just do not believe. But yeah, apparently, smart. What's it called? Think Positive is actually enjoying this, I guess. So good. I can enjoy my angry rants.
Anyway, so what is the purpose of bringing this up, if I may ask?
Well, I thought it would be fun to just have a little bit of an angry rant, and the reason, and essentially just at one point brought up a little bit of Mulan thing to essentially just give everyone a good laugh, and that was this version of that. And well, I kind of ran out of that now, so I guess we now just have the trains part, the mandatory trains part that everyone loves, and I do not understand the appeal of.
Trains are pretty cool. I like trains.
I just don't understand the autism behind trains. I do not get it even slightly.
Because they're big metal things that move fast and they run on tracks. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And you can pull basically whatever you want. I mean, and they make pretty good noises. You know.
We are slowly coming up to the 2-hour mark though, because I fucking retardedly started this 15 minutes late or thereabouts. So I'll read some of this for you guys.
You guys should see my model train collection, by the way. I have a very big model train collection.
Oh, go ahead and talk about that then if you want.
Oh no, I'm gonna say that for it's gonna be its own little segment. Maybe
okay, that
maybe when I
works.
go bust it out, I'll show you. I gotta clean the room up though.
You'll just say like, oh shit, I have to clean the room now that I've hyped this.
Yeah, I show it off.
You'll just say like.
By the way, you all will be thoroughly impressed with my model train collection.
I have this image in my mind now that he said this. That essentially is like a case of when you invite a girl over to, it's just like, oh shit, I need to make sure the bedroom's tidy. Give me a second before you come up here, before I show you the model train collection. It'll be really good, I promise. Just give me a sec. That's the image I'm getting, and
By the way, women love the model train collection almost as much as the gun collection.
What?
I'd say if not more. I mean, depends on the woman, you know. But I'm pulling your leg, you moron.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking nerdy and awful.
Yeah, I was thinking you were pulling my leg. I was a bit confused there. Oh dear, though. Oh dear. I actually did once have one train set and it broke, and that's the story of me and
Very
trains.
sad.
It broke, and that was the end of it. I never got into it ever again. Established in 1892 as. What was that? Someone said
I don't
something.
think it's talking about us.
Oh,
Continue.
as Woodham and Sons by.
There's a massive delay on the sign. I said that's why you fix the trains.
Oh right.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not James May has a whole tutorial on how to fix model trains. Everyone should go watch it.
The thing is like the part where the model train was picking up electricity was what was breaking off. So effectively, this thing that's dragging, because it was also dragging on the track and making the track actually fall apart by dragging pieces of the track off. Well, surely that's not meant to drag across the floor. So if I remove that, then it'll work. Well, no, because it was the part that was actually drawing power. But somehow it had come loose and it was actually dragging and destroying the track as it was going round. So I was like, okay, so I thought it was meant to come off, but by taking it off, I effectively made it inert. It could not function at all after that point. So yeah, that's how I ended up destroying it. It was broken, but in fixing it, I actually made it far, far worse. I guess. So I'm sorry to hear that you're lagging, Carb, or that there's a lag on my end, or who knows. Hang on, I'm just trying to fucking read through this. Where was I? Albert and Sons. The company was based at Thomas Street. Barry, the company, bought old rope, Dunwich wood, and scrap metal from the ship's boats and marine business, which used newly created Barry docks, which it's then resold or scrapped. Albert retired in. This is. I don't.
Why are you reading this, Harry?
Well, people like the train shit.
It's not your
everyone else left.
article.
Okay, well, everyone else left who liked trains, but people like train articles. So I don't know.
That,
should I just end the episode then? This seems kind of anticlimactic.
well, no, but you can't read. You don't know what all the words mean. You're going to struggle for the entire thing.
This would have been better suited if
It's going to be
Anglo
a terrible
Vulcan
read
read it.
because you don't know anything about it, and they've literally left you to read about trains yes.
Fair point then.
Save it for next week. All
right, I'll save it for next week.
If the boys want a train segment, they'll come in here and actually do a train segment.
Yeah, it's like I guess that's a reasonable request, right? With that though, guys, I guess it'll be a good time to end this episode. As a true fucking pleb who does not know what the fuck they're doing with their own podcast.
Yeah, well, that is increasingly clear to everyone who watches this podcast that this is a shit show. But
it's a beautiful shit show, though.
In time, it will start to not be a shit show.
I mean, it's taken a while already, though.
What was this? What episode is this,
3.
by the way?
Though technically 4,
3?
because episode 0 was a thing.
Starting with loading an ad blocker.
Yeah, loading an ad blocker. We discussed this last time I was on here. We need a actual structure, and we have to have secondary sources to our topics. That way, we spend more than just 5 minutes on each topic.
Yeah.
So.
Ironic that I'm still on the podcast, and Francesca's just showing me, like, on Facebook, she's sending me images of just what's happened to just the food areas in her shop. It's like, okay. I guess.
Also, hold on. I have one more topic. If we could. Okay, so Harry, you might want to pull this up. So the Michigan Republican Party state convention happened yesterday.
Right. Where are you seeing this?
Oh, I'm here. I could send sources. But I'm bringing this up because this is a perfect example of how Trump fits within the Republican Party post his presidency.
Yeah.
It is a very how do I put this? Weird dynamic, because from the outside, if you ask anyone what their opinion of Donald Trump is, especially Republicans, they'll usually say that he was a good thing. They're still like, pro-Trump. Now, why would they say this? Well, they would say this because they want your vote, obviously. Especially in the state of Michigan, the what they call the grassroots, which would be the normal people, and the establishment, which means the same thing, how we use it. The grassroots are increasingly pro-Trump and pro the election was fortified narrative, and the establishment people are not, and view these people as nutbags who should never see the strings of power, basically.
Yeah.
And yesterday, so how the Michigan system works is that we don't exactly have a true primary. So, like, we don't have a primary for all positions. So we have it for governor and like representatives and senators and stuff. But as far as like the other elected positions, such as Secretary of State, all those executive cabinet positions, those are chosen via the state convention and the delegate system. And we can go into the party delegate system at a later date because that's a whole complicated thing that I'm not prepared to get into at the moment. But I'm about to send you this article. Yesterday was the showdown between the establishment and the grassroots people.
Gotcha.
And the grassroots, the Trump people, won handily.
Nice.
Christina Caramo, who is actually not as nuts as people would think. Now, I still think that I would rather have Trump endorsed a little bit better people. But it is what it is, and I guess those people are probably going to be better than the establishment Republicans, if I'm honest. So Christina Caramo, I think, beat her opponent. I think she came in with 67% of the delegate vote. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering it was they had 3 other people running in the race, so she beat 3 other people with the 67%. And then Matt DePerno, and didn't originally get the majority. Now, Matt DePerno is the guy who found the fraud in Antrim County, how the vote tallies were wrong. He was that guy. That's why he's popular. But it was that position was between Matt DePerno and Tom Leonard, and both of them did not win the majority initially because there are other people in the race. And so it went to a runoff vote, and DePerno won that runoff vote. So all the important positions that everyone thought that the Trump people were going to get walloped in, they walloped the other side. And it was pretty great. I can't show you what I know, obviously, because these are private conversations. Let me just say, the establishment is on a fucking meltdown at the moment. I mean,
Nice.
I mean, it's funny, but it's also not a good thing because that means that they're probably going to try to sandbag the election so that the Trump people lose on purpose.
So basically, it's a case of, oh, well, if we make it so that every election becomes bullshit, it's like, the problem is you can't do that forever. Eventually, it's just.
By the way, I mean sandbag. I don't mean like fraud. I mean like not giving them money. You know, like when you get a party endorsement, there comes with a lot of like donations, and you get a lot of ads cut for you, and a lot of endorsements.
Yeah.
And that's usually what gets you elected, right? Is you have all the big machine behind you. And even though they still will have, the nominees will still have the resources of the actual Republican Party, all the people around it who usually would get involved will not get involved this year.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming now, this is the day after, and all this is speculation. But if what I've heard in private is any indication, that they will purposely try to deny these candidates resources so they lose the election. And that way they can kind of say the narrative of, hey, the Trump people didn't work out. We can't run them ever again. Trump's really bad for the Republican Party. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is so childish because these are the same people who bitch and complain about Gretchen Whitmer all the damn time. All the damn time. And they'd rather see 4 more years of Gretchen Whitmer than have these candidates win. Think about that.
Fucking babies.
Yeah, well,
Absolute children.
they're addicted to losing. They don't want to, because they can't actually handle what like a real victory would entail. Would actually like exercising authority in a way that is decent would.
So they're dividing and conquering each other, basically.
Yes, yeah. And you know, as their reasoning is that all these people have said crazy stuff in the past, and that is true. But these same people, not even 3 years ago at this point, were saying, "Hey, Donald Trump, he said some crazy stuff, but you shouldn't just not vote on him because he said some crazy stuff. I mean, look at his actual record. You know, look at what he's done, right?" So now they're doing the opposite of what they said. They're like, don't vote for these Trump endorsed people because they say crazy stuff in the past. Like, it's all very two-faced. And if you think that the Republican Party, and this is the problem, the boomer cons think that the Republican Party is 100% what they view the Republican Party is. It is absolutely not. Now, I guarantee you, if DeSantis wasn't as mannered of speaking as he is right now, if he was more of a Trump guy, DeSantis would not be doing half the stuff he's doing. Would not happen. And I mean, that's kind of what the feel of the party is. And by the way, I think DeSantis is a better politician than Trump, hands down, because he
Explain?
speaks softly and actually does action. Versus Trump was very boisterous, and that, even though we love Trump and we love how he roasts people, was ultimately the downfall of his presidency.
So I think there was it fuck, who was this?
The Inquisitors will be here to see you soon, heretic.
I believe it was the British Prime Minister. Oh, fuck, I forgot his name. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
I believe wasn't that Theodore Roosevelt's?
Yes, that's probably it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and DeSantis embodies that to a T, and that is why he is better. You know, and I would prefer that if the Trump people acted more like DeSantis than they did Trump. I think that'd be a very, I mean, look at the Virginia governor race, if you guys remember that correctly. Oh my God, what is the Virginia governor's name? Anyone want to help me out here, or
It's not coming to me at all. It's not coming to me at all.
Oh my God, it's not Northam. Northam is the bad Democrat who's no longer there. Thank God. Oh my God.
McCulloch?
Is that his name?
I don't know. This came to mind. I'm not sure exactly.
I think that was his opponent who I'm thinking of. Harry, Google this. I mean, come on. Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie? Who's Jamie? What?
Oh, Harry, pull it up. Who's the governor of Virginia? Jesus.
Sorry.
Youngkin.
Yeah, Glenn Youngkin. Yes, Glenn Youngkin did this perfectly, where he took the Trump endorsement, said some very nice words about his policies, and then never mentioned Donald Trump in his campaign ever again.
How do I spell that?
That is.
Well,
That is it.
Wait,
we already have the name. Doesn't matter. We beat you to it. But that is the correct way of navigating the grassroots and moderate divide. Now, the establishment people can always fuck off. They can always do it.
Oh yeah.
Fuck them. But the issue is, and it is a valid issue brought up by the establishment, is that the grassroots and the moderates aren't necessarily going to weld together very well. And I think what Youngkin did, and what's happening in Florida with the God Emperor Jr., who is I think is going soon to be God Emperor, is finding a way to weld the radical policies that we like and get the moderates on board.
Wait a minute, I'm not sure getting moderates on board is a good strategy. I think you know my thoughts on this.
No, I do know your thoughts on this, except that at the end of this day, the more votes you have, the more you're gonna win. You have to have the more votes. And as much as we like to rail on democracy, we still have to work within the system at the moment, and that means getting as many people as you can to vote for your policies.
Yeah, that's why acceleration isn't, man. Like, just fuck it. Just let the collapse come. No, I'm kidding. I don't actually think
right.
That,
so.
Sometimes it's just like appealing to moderates, though. It's just like, you fucking losers. It's just like,
by the way, it's not that they're appealing to moderates. I mean, are they? Look what's happening in Florida with DeSantis. Is he really appealing to moderates?
I wouldn't say so.
No, but
he's still getting the moderates on board. Well, not all of them, but a half, I would say, a plurality, a outside group.
So I was watching a Yarvin podcast the other day.
He's appealing to the same people.
he was describing that these like the Trump, DeSantis, Reagan, all these like little like shifts to the right that still ultimately exist within the like massive like fucking cathedral and this giant bureaucratic apparatus that's going to implement these laws. Like it's not productive. It's basically just like it's just a rush. Like yes, we did a thing. We fought back. We and then after a while, once people let up and once this sort of goes away, then people are going to go back to normal, and the left is going to keep on doing its thing and pushing, and the bureaucracy is going to keep on pushing, and the laws are going to
that's why. But that's why you need DeSantis in the halls of power, where then he can now appoint his successors. Because DeSantis see the thing is that's great about DeSantis is that he also understands that establishment people suck, and he will not let establishment people near him.
I hope so, dude. Like, if he really is like this base Machiavellian who's going to come in and like fucking fire everyone and appoint his own people, that'd be great. But like, I know that he is.
Yeah, I get the point that we've yet to see it, so I assume that's going to be the case. But I'm saying though is that what's happening in Florida is something very special that we, to be honest, didn't expect to happen. I mean, could you ever think of a world where Disney got their self-governance pulled? Disney of all companies. I mean, that is crazy. So, in conclusion to this segment, make sure you check out your local Republican Party, because chances are, if you are on the right in America, you are going to be Republican. Check them out. Investigate who your party head is, and take a look at what they're advocating, what they're saying. Now, if it's milquetoast, mealy mouthed, we like Trump and their policies, but like they're trying to disassociate themselves with Trump, that's a red flag. It's a red flag. It unfortunately is a red flag, but it's something to pay attention to. Take a look at your politicians, what their voting record is. Now, voting record is something that is very easy to use to tell on whether someone's on board with establishment or non-establishment people. Voting record, very big. If you take a look at Ted Cruz's voting record, it's pretty iffy. It's pretty iffy. I like Ted Cruz, pretty iffy voting record. Now, if you take a look at like Thomas Massey, Rand Paul's voting record, very based, very good. So that is my parting wisdom.
That's it.
I think that's actually a really good segment to end this on. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, because I kind of messed up earlier.
No, I wish I was a little bit more prepared and I had resources pulled up and we could do a little bit more of a visual. But that is for next time, and I will prepare better. So,
and maybe I'll stop being terrible.
Harry, if you want to take this away, give the closer, and we'll all get out of here.
If you want to, you can come join the Plebs of Shadilay Discord server and talk with anyone on there. And apparently just be a drunken American talking in British morning times. I'm not going to mention names, but you know exactly who you are. And it's always fun to get to talk to you guys. And I'm really hoping that soon I'll actually be able to attend the fucking meetups that people have been having. But hey, you can't win them all. But we'll get fun.
Yes, whether in the UK or America, meetups are going to happen this summer, it seems like. The UK has already had a couple. America, we're planning one now. It is a little bit harder because our country is significantly bigger than the UK. But it is going to happen. So, yeah, there you go.
So if you ever wanted to actually talk with people who actually have brains and not just, parrot what they see on the Holy Gospel Magic Box, aka the TV, come to the Plebs. The Plebs
come to the Plebs of Shadilay. There we go.
So, before we go, I have one thing to say. Read The Machiavellians by James Burnham. Read Mencius Moldbug.
No, I mean, yes, actually, I don't disavow that. Don't disavow that. As long as you also read Murray Rothbard and Mises.
Libertarianism is cringe.
Libertarianism is not cringe. It's very based. Authoritarianism is very cringe.